everybody, this is Grace. In this video, first off, I'm going to have a question. How many of you live in an area where it is very difficult to get things done without there being some kind of an issue? Something very simple, very, very simple. Like you call your pharmacy, you say, I want to renew this prescription, and the next thing you know, it's a big, huge issue. And that can take days, weeks, months, years, and they never get it struck right. Yeah, like do not call me, do not call my doctor's office, do not auto refill is what they call it, your prescriptions. Do not text me. And it takes you calling their corporate office and the corporate office messing up over a year of doing this. Nothing is simple anymore. And you find out at the end of it that this happens to a lot of people. You find out from someone working in the pharmacy, they get those kinds of calls all the time. It's their computer system. And you find out from the pharmacist that their computer system will automatically change it back within 6 months. That's the way they have it set up. Within 6 months, anything you tell them, do not call, very plain, do not call. Do not call me. Do not call my doctor. Do not text me. But they continue to do it. And just something so simple becomes an issue for you. You get calls from the doctor's offices because their system calls doctors you haven't seen in years. Okay. Something simple becomes an issue. Something so simple is not just one thing. The doctor's office calls in the wrong strength of a medication. You would think it would be so simple to call the doctor's office and say, you called in the wrong strength. You wind up calling 3 times and they still get it wrong. They call it into the wrong pharmacy. And you explain to them when you call, do not send it to the wrong pharmacy, send it to this one. They send it to the wrong one. And it continues to where the point is you don't want to think of it as that they're really harassing you by, like the pharmacy calling the doctor, texting you. You don't want to think that way. You don't want to seem paranoid. But after a while you say, okay, this is messed up. This is totally messed up. I cannot keep denying that somebody is really screwing up on purpose. Now the real question is, do you ever feel like that because you don't want to think that this is being done on purpose, but after a while you have to see it as being done on purpose, but do you tend not to think, do you tend to think that it's not being done on purpose? Okay, now my situation, I do believe it is one pharmacist, a pharmacy I have stopped going to, that's doing it on purpose. I've met her, I've spoken to her in person, and she has that kind of narcissistic attitude, and she does do that smirk. Yes, what they call the narcissistic smirk. She does it when she has irritated me because she keeps messing up on purpose. And it's just so bizarre to me to think that a pharmacist would do such a thing. Okay? Clip there and just to find out that it wasn't turned on. But anyway, I went on and on saying that you don't want to think that, like I just said in the previous clip, that they're doing it on purpose, but they are. And as I found out, it's this one pharmacist. I've actually met her in person. I don't know if I've already said this in other clips, the clip before, but I've spoken to her in person, and she has that narcissistic smirk when she knows she's irritated me. She probably does that with other people, because it's usually not a one-person thing like this. She actually has that smirk. She's a younger woman, and she's done very strange things like, and I've made sure I've let people know that the pharmacy and the doctor's office that she's done this. She would renew. I'd say, they know it. They say, yes, on your account. It actually says only refill for 30-day supply. Doctors change my prescription sometime, and I'm not going to pay for 90 days, and they might change it again. What does she do? she will fill. One time I picked up, it was only supposed to be, I think, 4 prescriptions as it was, and she filled one I don't take. I don't need. I take it as PRN, and I don't need it anymore. So she filled 3 for 90 days supply and 2 for 30 days supply. And nobody else can understand why she did that. And I've made sure I stated this. And I don't know where her brain went in the middle of this, but to fill 3 for 90 days, 2 for 30 days, makes no sense to me. And I certainly didn't request them that way. And they said, yeah, ma'am, it says on there, only fill for 30 days supply. And I was saying, it's not just this. That's the bad thing. It's not just dealing with pharmacies and the doctor's offices. And I also made a statement in there that it's not like we're, I'm Texan. I live in Texas. It's not like they're from another state. The people I speak to have a Texan accent. They're all the same ethnic group. I know them. I've met them. All the same ethnic group. And most of them, except for at the doctor's office, their staff is younger. But everybody else is around my age. There's no kind of confusion with something that's very simple, like, do not call me. And I've gotten to where I'd say that. Do not call me. When they just go somewhere else with it. It's so bizarre to me when people will go somewhere else with what that means. It's this. Yesterday I got a call from it was the same chain, but a different location. And they had renewed a prescription that I had, I have it on my account. They have it there. That says the customer will call to renew the prescription. Do not auto refill. Well, they finally took it off of auto refill yesterday. I had to do it was about a few hours of phone calls and waiting and stuff. But anyway, they called me and they said, well, yes, it does say it on there. I said, why are you calling me? And, she said, well, yeah, it does state on there that we shouldn't call you to refill prescriptions, but we can call you to tell you that your prescription has been filled. And I said, no, you can't. I stated, do not call me at all. But they go somewhere else with it. Well, they put in this code that says that we can't call you to refill prescriptions. I said, why did you refill that prescription? Oh, well, let's see. And then we refilled one prescription from this doctor I hadn't seen in probably over a year, okay? And they said, well, our system does it. And all these different calls and everything. And they finally get down to the pharmacist, and pharmacist, well, like I said earlier, they will change it every 6 months. So every 6 months, because they have their system programmed that way, I have to call and say all this all over again and go through all this. And dealing with their corporate office is the one I have to call to do so. Will take a few times of calling them and waiting on hold and over days for them to get it right, because they apparently don't know what they're doing. So now you would think it's so simple. It's just to change pharmacies. Nope. Change chains. Change the chain that I go to. Nope, not that simple. It is not. I'll have some kind of other issue at another place. And I know this because it's true. And I'm saying this again. It's not just me. I have heard it from so many people. But where I live is a big suburb, and these kinds of problems happen. They don't have the little small mom and pop, kind of thing, pharmacy to go to, where the people don't change a lot. There's not a revolving door jobs for them. But you know them, and you go in, you hand the prescription, and you get it filled. That doesn't happen here. But there's more to this than that, and I think this part's getting long, so. And I was bragging in one video that, hey, no problem happened, and I find myself doing that so often, is that I will brag about, and I'll state that I'm bragging about, hey, I went into the store and nothing happened. I went to this place and nothing bad happened, because it's so rare. And like I said, it's not just me. It's not just me. This place actually has a reputation, not this store, this suburb, but not this one, but the next one over. And it has a reputation that I heard about around 30 years ago. I didn't even know the place existed, and that's what I heard, was The bad reputation that people have a high sense of entitlement. Well, everything that goes along with that. The narcissism. Yeah. People don't do their jobs. They don't listen. They don't pay attention. They do whatever they want to do. And if you say, do not call me, they're going to call you because they're going to do what they want to do. This kind of mentality. Not everybody, of course, not everybody. But yes, that kind of mentality. And I know that I didn't give it a reputation, so it's always had that reputation that other people have experienced. So anyway, I'm wrapping this up. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you're watching the video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you would. And I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.